is Cheryl Shaft, and with me, as always, is Tamba. How are you doing, Tamba?
I'm doing, as always, pretty good.
Solid
Pretty good.
stuff. Love to
A
see
bit,
it.
bit from last race, but other than that, I'm doing fine.
Yes, me and Tamba have just come from Tier 1's race in Canada as well. We won't spoil it. It was a very eventful race. I caused something towards the end which had a big impact, but yeah, I won't spoil it. Make sure you go check that out. But we're here today to focus, as I said, on Tier 2. We're currently about 10 minutes to go in qualifying. We will, again, as always, start to focus on that probably with about 3 or 4 minutes to go for the final runs. In terms of admin side of things, we've got for the race today, perfectly sunny qualifying, as you can see. Beautiful day in Canada. For the race, I've got a bit of an inside word that towards the end of the race, we might start to see a little bit of rain. So stay tuned for some potentially very interesting racing today as Cipriani spins around. The other side of the admin, Tambar, I haven't pre-warned you about this, so I'm going to keep waffling before I ask you to give us the rundown of the current top 10 of Tier 2. I will just keep talking a little bit to give you a chance to get that information up, because I know you're doing a couple of other admin bits. But in the meantime, just a quick look at the qualifying. We've got Mr. Hex has just gone provisional pole with a 1:10.0, which is a great lap. Rusty Orkan, who was filling in for Tier 1, so should be nice and warmed up, currently in P2. Archie Gill in P3, Hotboy P4, and Raleigh in P5. Rounds out those with a 1:10. Tamba, I'm now going to come to you and say,
Yeah,
do you have a rundown of the current standings for us?
I do. So in P1 we got Ghetto Biggie with he's the champion of this year, as he is leading with around 100 points from Rally in P2. Then we got Rusty in P3, roughly 100 points between them as well. Then we got Nico John far behind, not racing today, in P4. Then we got Mr. Hex close behind, around like 12 points in P5. Archie in P6. Joe in P7. Cheeseheads in P8. Tech Delta in the Trustworthy AlphaTauri in P9. And then we got Sparkplug close behind in P10 in the Aston Martin. And if you want to have a look at the team standings as well, we got Aston Martin with disgusting lead over Alfa Romeo with around 100 points. Then we got AlphaTauri, the mother team, not the sister team, the mother team, with around 50 points behind Alfa Romeo. Then we got Red Bull in 4th, Williams in 5th, McLaren in 6th, Haas in 7th, Ferrari in 8th, disappointingly. Alpine in 9th, and Mercedes in 10th.
Yeah, not a good year for Ferrari across all the tiers, it has to be said. So yeah, with Ghetto Biggie already the champion this year, it is already tied up. However, we are still excited to see the Tier 2 big guns going at it. Yeah, definitely ones to look out for. Ghetto Biggie actually coming through with a P2 on the medium tyres. The man just doesn't know when to quit. He's on fire. Yeah, definitely the likes of Mr. Hex, Ghetto Biggie, Roman numerals, Rusty, Archie, Hotboy. Yeah, the top lot, the top 7 or 8 currently going, have all shown. I mean, all of the drivers, you have to say, have shown the pace to challenge for the podiums in Tier 2. So it really is anyone's race around here in Canada. But yeah, I mean, looking ahead to the race, Tamba, I'm going to do that thing where I do a long-winded question. I throw it to you, and then you give me a nice short answer. So looking forward to it. With it being so close to season now, with it being wrapped up, do you think these drivers have the mindset of, you know, trying to maximize the amount of points, or do you think there's going to be some, you know, alternative motives? Do you think there's going to be other things on these drivers' minds, other things on their agenda as as again, instead of points for this sort of race?
Oh, I mean, I forgot half the question, but like
Is
in
there
terms of
anything
like,
other than points that these drivers might be thinking about?
yeah, but like, yeah, I think like in terms of the race, like the championship being wrapped up, like the top runners like Rally and Rusty and the top 5 or something. I think that it's kind of more casual for them at this point. Like, not like they're not trying as much as they would if they were like race 2 or something. But yeah, they may just like try and have a good time and not like get so fired up about the racing, but like hoping for clean racing, and maybe just that's just the value in these races.
Yeah, and I guess it's also worth noting with next week's race in Brazil being the final race of the season, the top 10 is an important thing to fight for, considering that if you finish in the top 10, you get your choice of team and second driver. So those drivers in and around 10th position will still be fighting, will still be competitive up until the very last checkered flag of the season. So
yeah, actually saying that, Hot Boy is 1 point behind 10th place. So is he racing though?
Hot Boy is racing, yeah. Who's currently 10th place?
Sparkplug.
And Sparkplug is not racing, so Hot Boy has an opportunity to get into the top 10. I mean, yeah, there's probably on the other side of that as well. You might not want to be in the top 10, as if you're in the bottom 10, you could get picked by a top 10 driver as your teammate. So, tough or just crashing into the wall there. Right. With all that being said, that's enough waffling for one qualifying session. We'll jump on board with some of these cars. Roman numerals just starting his next lap. Oh, and he just loses it there, which will mean he's probably not going to have a good time that one. So we'll instead just flip the script and move over to Rusty Oil Can, who's coming through onto the final back straight. Looks like he is improving on his time. We'll see if he can improve enough to jump up into third as he comes through the final chicane. Comfortably avoids the Wall of Champions, very smooth, and he crosses the line with a 1:10.5. Does improve, but unfortunately not enough to jump up the standings. Let's have a look. Who have we got on the lap? Ragford in the Williams does improve into 13th. Solid lap from him. Who have we got on the lap? So Roman numerals, is he going to start another lap? He is going to start another lap. I think, yes. So we'll stay on board with Roman numerals. No. We'll stay on board Roman numerals in the McLaren. He is only a 10th, less than a 10th, off of top spot at the moment. So we'll see if he can improve through downshifts nicely. Through, I don't know what that turn's called, but the infamous Vettel-Hamilton incident corner, it'll always be. As he goes purple through sector 1 with a 19.5, solid first sector. Comes through the uphill right left S. Oh, a little bit of snap of oversteer, but keeps it comfortable. As he comes through now, unfortunately doesn't improve. Actually lost a couple of tenths through that second sector. Oh, and that's,
I mean, either that was an amazing save or he just lagged.
I think he just got a snap of oversteer and saved it. Which unfortunately means his lap is over. So we'll jump on board with. Let's have a look at. Is Hot Boy on a lap?
He is not.
I don't know if he's on a lap.
Wait,
Let's jump on board with Tac Delta. We know he's on a lap because he's just about to start. I'll tell you what, Tamba. If we jump on with Tac Delta, I'll get rid of the overlay. Why don't you talk us through his lap?
So fun. Okay, so we got Tac Delta in the the best car, and now good job going into the Vettel and Hamilton chicane does that pretty good. And then into this turn, has to hug the curb and does that well. The traction zone is pretty tricky, and it just as he is expected to. Then we go into the next chicane. Oh, well, no invalidation. We jump onto rally.
We'll jump on back rally.
now.
Yep, keep going, Tambo.
Rally is on 1/10 up into this hairpin. Gotta keep it tight, brake late. No locking up. Oh, purple second sector. We'll love to see it. Ow. Into the famous chicane. The terrible chicane. The worst chicane in the game. Track limits chicane. Ruin your next lap chicane. Does he ever make the chicane? Oh, it's a bit... Well, he did make the chicane.
And he crosses the line.
Well,
and he
P4,
improves.
P4.
P4
I mean,
indeed.
To be fair, the chicane was a bit conservative, but like he made the chicane. That's the important part.
Yes, he made the chicane and he did improve, so that's rally up into 4th as it stands.
Oh, Tack. Oh, shit.
Tack is done for the day.
Retired.
Qualifying, he has retired.
Never mind.
So we'll jump back. So Chaos Drew, you've got the final guys going through here. Chaos Drew coming through the back straight, coming through the final chicane. Will he improve? Or goes a little bit deep in the first, but keeps it clean. Should improve on his time. Will he improve position? He does. He moves up to 13th. Aston Martin has invalidated. So next will be Archie Gill coming through the final chicane. Clips the wall of champions. Gives a little kiss on the way through. And does he improve? He does. Moves up to 4th. Roman numerals coming through the final straight. Will he improve?
No.
He doesn't. No, that is not an improvement. Who is that coming through? That's Raleigh. He's already finished, so not him. Tough 4 is already finished, so that's qualifying done. Wow, so Mr. Hex, he didn't need to sweat once.
Nah. Well, he's gonna sweat in the race because Ghetto Biggie is on mediums.
Yes. Wow, I mean, yeah, that has to be the performance. Ghetto Biggie coming through with P3 on the mediums is a fantastic job. Whether it will be the best strategy, we'll see. But to round up your qualifying, P1 we've got Mr. Hex, P2 Roman numerals, P3 Ghetto Biggie, P4 Archie Gill, P5 Raleigh, P6 Rusty Oil Can, P7 Tac Delta, P8 Hot Boy, P9 Cheesehead, P10 Tar Heels. And the rest, we got Tar 4, P11, Cipriani Vincent, P12, Chaos Jordan, P13, Ragford in P14, and Green Hornet in P15. Just worth noting as well, Ragford and Tar 4, I believe, are new to the league. So welcome to them if you are watching this either live or back. Best of luck to you both for the race. We
Probably
believe in you.
live, but,
No, probably not live. But if you're watching this back, best of luck to you both. Nice to see some new faces as always, and yeah. We wish you the best in the race. Not it's going to make any difference if you're watching this back. It's already happened. So yeah, we've got bright sunshine as predicted. Potential of rain lurking. Tambar, you did mention before the race you'd love a few predictions. So here's your first one of the day. What's your podium looking like?
I mean, podium. It's a tricky thing. Canada, tricky track. So we gotta have a tricky podium.
What's the tricky podium look like?
Everyone crashes out, Tac Delta P1, and Rally P3.
Not even subtle.
Okay. I'm thinking if we go back in time, Rusty drove the Tier 1 race.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I was scared of Rusty because he was too quick.
Good point. Yeah.
Rusty is gonna win.
Okay. Solid.
Rusty's gonna win. Then we got Ghetto Biggie having one hell of a race. Enter lap 35, big crash, takes out Mr. Hex. No more podium. Then we got Roman numerals taking P3, and then we got a cheeky Rally going P2.
So you're going Rusty, Raleigh, and then who's your P3 again?
Roman.
Roman numerals. Wow, that is a tricky podium. I like it though. I like it a lot.
Isn't Roman Canadian as well? I
Sure.
think he is.
I think I mean, he reps the Canadian flag, so we will make that assumption that in his home race. And you know what? Just for that reason, I'm going to say that Roman numerals is going to win his home race today. I'm going to go for a Roman numerals, Mr. Hex P2, and why not? We'll go Attack Delta P3.
Yeah.
Roman numerals, Mr. Hex,
Oh,
Attack Delta. That's my prediction. Come on, boys, don't let me down. I believe in you all. Right. So, with all of that time wasted, nicely done there, Tembar. Nice waffling.
Yeah.
We come to the formation lap, where these drivers will look to warm up their tyres, and I will look to re-enable our overlay. Beautifully done. Yeah, I mean, in terms of pit stop strategies then, Tembar, we've already raced, the two of us, so I feel like we've got a little bit of experience to go by. What are we looking here? I mean, especially with the Tier 2 drivers, we've seen Premier drivers pretty much stick to soft medium one stops. However, we had a couple 2 stops, and in Tier 1, I mean, we did have some safety cars that affected it, but definitely some drivers from the start were looking at 2 stops. Are you thinking we're going to get plenty of 1 stops in Tier 2 today, or do you think we'll get a big variety of 1 stops and 2 stops?
Probably a bit of a variety between 2 stops and 1 stop. I feel like if someone ahead of you goes for a 1 stop, or preferably behind you, then you should probably go for a 2 stop, just because at the end you will probably be a bit faster. But the problem with the 2 stop is you have to overtake, and the track isn't the best to overtake on, except for asphalt. So, yeah, probably a bit of difference between the drivers in terms of strategy and safety cars.
Yeah, I mean, the safety cars are really gonna be the ones that are going to template what pit stop strategy these drivers go for. I mean, there's such a high chance, with Canada being a street track, such a high chance of a safety car coming on here that I wouldn't be surprised if we see multiple stops.
I mean, we may see a 2 stop, we may see a 10 stop, you never know.
Very true. I mean, powered by AWS, the pit stop suggestion is that we might see a 3 stop with no safety cars, which I will be very surprised by, assuming none of these drivers get any damage. But with all that being said, as always, Tambar, if you want to keep an eye on the back of the grid, I'll keep an eye on the front of the grid. As the drivers are all ready to go, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights held for far too long are out, and away we go here. Tier 2 in Canada. A decent start for the front 3, a bit of a gap already building up, but clumped together. They're only going 2 and 3 wide. A couple of drivers going a bit wide coming through turn 1, but looks relatively clean. A few bits of contact, but no one spinning so far. No major damage we can see either. Fairly good start therefore for Mr. Hex as he keeps P1 coming through at the end of the first sector. Roman numerals and Ghetto Biggie keeping P2 and P3. Looks like we've got a yellow flag towards the back of the grid. Tambar, what's happened?
Tar Heels has just spun it in the second chicane. Yeah, he's struggling a bit.
Unfortunate for Tar Heels, he's lost a lot of speed, a lot of time. Sorry, he's going to be begging for a safety car in order to catch up. But the rest of the grid, though, very clean so far. Remember, no DRS for the first few laps, so the driver's going to be relying purely on the slipstream and their ERS deployment. But as you can see on the overlay, we've got Tech Delta who's jumped up 2 positions, Riley who's jumped down 2, but the rest of the drivers in the top 9 have all stayed exactly where they started, so very clean start so far.
Yeah. And are we calling in Raggy?
Let's call him Ragford.
Okay, yeah. So Ragford. The Williams. The Williams has done a great.
The Williams that's not Cipriani.
He's done a great start, and he's now up to P11. And interestingly, the McLaren of Green Hornet actually did a pretty smart start. if there was a bit of carnage, because he just backed off fully. He just let let the corner just go with everyone else, and then he just drove calmly through afterwards. So yeah, no risks for Greenhorn today. He just wants to finish. That's my prediction. But, so we hope for him to finish the race.
Oh, and you've had an incident. Sorry to cut you off there. Tac Delta and Rusty have just got stuck on each other on the wall. I assume Tac Delta's going to have a bit of damage there, and he has lost a lot of time as well. Him and Rusty not having a good time back there. We'll see if Tac jumps into the pits or Rusty. We'll see if either of them. Rusty, no. Tac, not either. Okay. So
I'm not sure if Tac has damage.
He hasn't jumped into the pit, so I assume it's been kept clean. But that does mean we've seen a few more positional changes now. Oh, Mr. Hex. Snap of oversteer. Pushing a little bit too hard, maybe. So, all that being said, Hot Boy is the first of our penalty club. We'll keep an eye on the tyres as well. Get a biggie on those mediums. We'll have an opportunity to out-strategy those around him. So he will definitely have some time where he's got clean air. The softs tend to run for... How many laps, Tambar, do you think the softs will be running for these guys?
I mean, it depends on if you're going to stop or one stop. But if we're thinking like overall how long they go, probably around 11 to 13 laps.
Yeah, so we should see around about that time Ghetto Biggie will have clean air and will be able to really test his pace on his mediums, see if he's able to build up a bit of a lead and overcut his competitors around him. So it'll be really interesting to see. Roman numerals, if I'm not mistaken, Roman numerals is already out of ERS, which I find crazy. I mean, a lot of these drivers, almost all of them, are already less than half of their ERS. So they're really punching in the times. Very interesting strategies for them.
Yeah, it isn't. I mean, the track is made for like high wings, so it kind of makes sense to lose a lot of ERS and not gain that much. But like hissig på grøten, as we call it in Norwegian. Don't know what you call it in English, but aggressive on the driving in the first laps.
Well, I mean, typically you'd associate aggressive driving with a lot of action, but these drivers have been aggressive yet comfortable at the same time, which is interesting. Riley overtaking Hot Boy, jumping up into 5th position for now. We'll keep an eye on this top 3, though. They are getting a bit closer. Ghetto is closing in on Roman numerals. Is he going to go for a little move on the inside? Looked at it, but Roman numerals just covered him off. Just made sure he knew where he was and keeps 2nd position for now. I mean, if you're... I guess in terms of on the strategy on the other side of things then, knowing that Ghetto Biggie is going to have a lot of laps of clean air, if you are the likes of Mr. Hex and Roman numerals, are you adapting your strategy at all? Knowing that Ghetto's got an alternative strategy going on?
I mean, you could just like maybe stay out a couple more laps and try and like hold him up so that he doesn't gain as much on the clean air. But at the same time, you would probably just mess up yourself. So if you're being selfish, then pit early and hope for the best. If you're not feeling selfish and don't want to win the race, then you hold them up.
Bold words, September. Bold words.
Yeah, we like it bold. It's important to say what you mean.
Very much so. As we come through now to the start of the 7th lap here in Canada, Mr. Hex still holds the lead. He had at the start of this race by qualifying in pole position. Just going to switch on to penalties as well. Roman numerals still on 2nd and Ghetto Biggie still in 3rd. So the front 3 exactly as they started. Looks like Hot Boy has crashed on the home straight. He's spun it, damaged his front wing. Just the worst place to get damage is he's now going to have to complete an entire lap, missing an end plate on the side of his front wing. He's not going to be loving life. But as for the rest, I mean, yeah, we've had a few spins towards the back of the grid, and we've got a few penalties piling up. Very easy to get penalties here in Canada.
Yeah, it is.
Cheeseheads, Tack, Cipriani, Tafforn, Chaos Druid with 3 seconds, Hotboy already with 6. Not going to be loving life.
Yeah, Ragford is Rag Williams. He's
still not confident.
no, I'm not sure how. He is catching up on the tactile and is actually making a lot of moves at this moment in time. So I think he started 13th, 14th, something like that, and now he's up 5 positions, so 14th. So he's making the Williams proud. Yes.
Very much so. 2 Williams in the top 10. Love to see it. I know there's only 15 cars, but still, love to see it. As we've got a spin, and it's Tafur in the Mercedes, has spun on the home straight. It's going to lose him a lot of time, unfortunately. We'll stay on board though with Ghetto Biggie, as he is closing in on Roman numerals. Roman numerals so far has had to really defend hard, which in turn has cost him a lot of time from Mr. Hex in front. We'll see though who gets the better exit between the Aston Martin and the McLaren, as this may make the difference as to whether Ghetto Biggie is able to make the move this lap. It looks like Roman numerals gets a slightly better exit. Ghetto Biggie not using any ERS, but Roman numerals, as you can see, is already out and he's flashing red, which is great news for Ghetto Biggie. He knows how much ERS Roman numerals has, and Roman numerals is straight into the pits. Very early stop.
Oh, yeah, and he's probably going for the 2-stop.
He must be. Yeah, I can't imagine, unless he's going to put on hard tyres. No, medium. So yeah, 2-stop it is for Roman numerals, and he filters back. He will be towards the back of the grid, probably around 10th position. Rag.
Oh wait! Whoa! Never mind. We'll call him Rag.
Rag. We'll call him Rag.
Yeah.
As Roman numerals.
Scandinavian, so we call him the Scandinavian way of saying it.
I'll have to let you do that. I don't think I've got the vocal skills to say things in a Scandinavian accent. As Roman numerals has got DRS, he looks like he's going to go on the inside of Ragford. Wasn't quite in line enough, so pulls out and holds on to 8th for now, but he will have DRS once again, and he will have another opportunity down this back straight. As Ragford goes a bit wide, so Roman numerals is able to hold the inside line and make the move done. Both of them will have DRS, as they have got Tac Delta in front providing it. So it looks like Roman numerals will to hold it for now. Ragford having to just pull back a little bit as Tac Delta jumps into the pits. So Roman numerals up to 6th position now, as it looks like Mr. Hex is in the pits as well on the mediums. So here is that free air that we predicted Ghetto Biggie would get, as Cheeseheads. Cheeseheads has spun. We do have ghosting on in tier 2, so no worries of a collision.
No 5 DNFs there.
Nope. Let's see. Yeah, Cheeseheads is down into 8. So what are you thinking then? So far, I mean, Roman numerals and Mr. Hex have, after their pit stop now, filtered back into 2nd and 3rd respectively. So relatively clean air for the two of them. Ghetto Biggie far ahead. How is this looking to you, Tambar, in terms of tactics?
I mean, like, I'm not looking at the tactics, I'm looking at Ragford.
You'll get it once. You'll get it eventually.
I mean, the maniac, he is a maniac. The man just does full ERS through the chicane and through the first sector without even losing the rear one time.
Love to see it. I love that.
And he's got a fast second penalty though.
Ooh, not good. Not good. As he jumps into the pits, him and Cheeseheads now losing their soft tyres. Riley's gone on, and Riley and Tax are both AlphaTauris have gone to the hard tyres, interestingly. they will probably be trying to get those to the end of the race. Also, interestingly, I mean, the mediums. How many laps can the mediums do, Tambar? They could do quite a few, can't they?
Yeah, I mean, in Premier Tier, some of the guys did a 29 lap stint on the medium tire. That's unrealistic because it's Premier. So we'll say probably 25 laps at most without any safety cars. So yeah, they can probably go from the end to the end from here.
Yes, it's interesting though. Staying on board with Ghetto Biggie for those last couple of laps, we are seeing a couple of snaps of oversteer. So it's interesting whether that is just a case of driver mistakes, or whether within 10 laps he's already starting to feel his mediums a little bit. We'll see where he pits. As we've got on board currently Mr. Hex, who's right up the back of Roman numerals. These two drivers on the same tyre length, albeit 1 lap difference, as Tuffle joins the 3-second club. Mr. Hex will want to get this move done as quickly as possible, because it looks like he's got a bit more pace than his McLaren competitor. The only problem being for the two of them is with Archie Gill 2.5 seconds behind, and with Ghetto Biggie 15 seconds ahead, the DRS is all yours if you sit behind. As Mr. Hex, less than 10% ERS as well, so it might be worth he just sits behind as he goes for an... Oh, shoots down the inside, and there's a bit of contact. But he keeps it clean for now. He will get DRS, however. He hasn't got any ERS to work with. Will he get the move done? He goes down the inside, but not close enough this time. As there's a... Oh, who spun? Is it Tough 4? Yeah, it's Tough 4's lost his front wing. Unfortunately. As... Oh, stay on board.
Tough 4 has low fuel as well. I think he was gambling in the safety car.
We still might get one as Mr. Hex joins the 3-second club. So, we've got Ghetto Biggie with 3 seconds, Mr. Hex with 6 now. Which is great news for Roman numerals, with those 3 being the current favourites. I mean, assuming that we get no safety car, Tambar, can you see anything other than a Ghetto Biggie Roman numerals Mr. Hex podium?
I mean, Archie Gill has just caught up, so he may have a shot, but no, not really.
No,
I mean,
I was thinking
7 seconds behind. Vince is 7 seconds behind, and then 4 seconds, and then yeah.
I wish I was so close to predicting those 3, and then last second I bottled it, and I went for Tac Delta ahead of Ghetto Biggie, which was a stupid mistake. But hey ho, we're still fingers crossed for that Roman numerals win. My early pre-race prediction. Who was your winner again?
Don't talk about that, you know.
Was it Raleigh or was it Tac?
No, it was Rusty.
It was Rusty. Hey, we never know. We might still get a safety car yet. No. Yeah. Oh, Tough 4 has retired in the pits, so we should be free from a safety car. Fingers crossed.
Tough 4 is not a fighter, confirmed.
As Tough 4's car has driven out of the pits. Thank you very much, Codemasters. We love to see it. But we'll stay on board. So we've got a bit of a fight now for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Coming through the final straight, Mr. Hex goes for a wider line, hoping to cut back and get a better exit. For now, he does look like he's got a bit of a better exit than Roman numerals, who is out of ERS. Mr. Hex, however, is also out of ERS, but his DRS will get him alongside, and he should be close enough to get the move done. He does go a little bit deep, which gives Roman numerals the opportunity to fight back going into turn 1. Mr. Hex will get DRS, interestingly, into turn 1, which allows him to keep hold of the position for now. Archgill, just a spectator watching these two. Always both fun and scary to watch the two drivers in front of you fighting. As Roman numerals goes a little bit wide, which gives Archie Gill the impetus to close in, but with the street tracks, It's so hard to get a move done mid-lap. So, are we
Yeah, I mean,
thinking... Sorry, go ahead.
these guys needs to learn ERS management. Like crispness lights all over the straights.
They really,
Just,
yeah. It's quite something that every single one of them has used up all their ERS within the first quarter of the
yeah.
race.
I would have got it if it was like 2 or 3 guys, but it's like everyone.
Yeah, I know. Very.
Like I haven't seen, except for Rally. Rally has actually 100% of ERS. Apart
Has
from
he?
that, yeah, and Ragford like has it 70%.
I mean,
ERS.
I tend to do a similar thing. I almost hardly use any ERS for the first half of the race.
Yeah,
I always maybe drop it down to around 75%, and then by the time I'm crossing the line, it's back up to around 90, 95. I don't know. Maybe it's
yeah.
just me. How do you tend to
For
do your
me,
ERS?
well, in the last races, I started almost start on pole every race. Not to brag, but
Flex.
I often use the ERS to try and like break the DRS line before the lap 3 counters. I probably use a lot of ERS, but I never go down to like under 40 or something. So try to keep it like above 50
Yeah.
if possible. So
I always like to make sure I'm around the 60% before I take a pit stop, just because you
yeah,
gain
that makes
so
sense.
much and you don't want to waste any of that opportunity.
Yeah.
As we
You don't
will.
want to have like over 60 because then you kind of lose out on the
Yeah.
gains and it's... Yeah, just to mention, the pit lane is pretty short there. You kind of... It's like under 20 seconds or something.
Yeah, it's shortened by the fact that it cuts off of turn 1 and
The chicane.
and part of the chicane, so you gain back a lot of the time you would normally lose, which is
Yeah. Oh, we got a Tar Heels. Yeah, Tars has spun it.
has he got any damage? No, doesn't
Sure.
look like he does. So he should be okay for now.
Yeah.
As we're staying on board, the closest fight still is for second, third, and fourth. We've got.
And we got Ferrari as well.
Yeah. I'm not sure which Ferrari that is. I'm assuming that's Chaos Druid being
Yeah, it
lapped by
is.
these guys. As he come through.
It's nice to see a Ferrari at the front at least. In a good way.
Coming through the home straight, and once again, these three, although they're in the DRS of each other, they're not quite close enough to get a move done. So Mr. Hex, although he's got 2 right behind him, does seem relatively comfortable for now in P2.
And they're gaining a lot on Ghetto as well.
Yes, they are, which is going to be interesting for Ghetto. I mean, he's definitely going to be behind these guys. That overcut, undercut situation, because by now he's definitely going to be feeling his tyres 16 laps in. So it's all a matter of whether he's going for a 2-stop or a 1-stop, whether he does try and be bold and hold on to these mediums for another 10 laps or so.
Yeah. I feel like if you go for you may go for a 1-stop. I feel like you have lost so much time already on the mediums. I would just go for a 2-stop. Try and gain back the times on the softs, do a double soft stint and just try and gain back time. Because if he pits now, then he's like I think 6 seconds behind on hards, or maybe soft speed goes further. If he stays further, it'll probably be like 8 seconds, and he's not gonna gain that much time, I guess. So, I think 2-stop is a smart strategy for Ghetto.
Well,
But I may be wrong.
we'll see. I mean, if he is going to go for the 2-stop, he surely would be thinking about pitting soon, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, that's what I was questioning.
Which is what's making me think that he might be leaning towards a 1-stop, because by now, I mean, if he's not going to pit this lap, then
Yeah.
it's not the most efficient two-stop window. So we'll keep our eyes on this fight for now. We have also got a little bit of a fight with Hot Boy and Tac Delta, but as this is a bigger fight with three drivers, we'll keep on board with these guys. Roman Numa is a little bit closer this time. We'll jump on board. He's got the DRS. Uses a bit of ERS. Will he have enough closing speed? He's going to go for it. He shoots down the inside, and Mr. Hex pulls back, and Roman Numerals gets the move done and moves up into second position and first position. As there we have it. Yeah.
Oh, it's on softs as well. That's probably a two-stop then.
Yes, definitely a two-stop now. But, I mean, maybe...
It's probably a bit of a delayed pit stop.
Yeah.
You should have probably been like lap 15, lap 16.
I mean, he can definitely go full steam on those tyres, though. He doesn't have to worry about any sort of management for now. He can definitely push, but I think you're right. There probably was a more efficient window a few laps earlier for him.
And as well with the softs, it's easier to cut the track because you feel like you have much more grip.
Mm.
Or you have much more grip, and then kind of turn into early and then just get penalties. But yeah, and Archie is looking really good as well because he doesn't have any penalties.
Yes, very much so. He's got a little bit of ERS to work with as well, about 30% or so, 40%. So he seems fairly comfortable just sitting behind these two, biding his time. Knows that a podium is on the cards for him if he plays his cards right. This fight,
a win is on the cards for him if he plays his cards right.
Very much so. I mean, the fight for second, third, and fourth has become first, second, third now with Ghetto Biggie pitting. Yeah. It is worth noting, though, that these three will also need to pit again. So,
so will Ghetto Biggie, so he kind of needs to game a lot of time.
He does. This is the stint now, as all four of these cars will be pitting onto fresh softs for their final stint, or, well, should. Ooh.
That's a cut.
That's a cut.
I just jumped on board and just cut the whole corner.
Yeah, that's a cut, and that is a penalty for Archie Gill, as it looks like Ragford has had a bit of a spin at the Wall of Champions, loses a couple of positions. Tamba is devastated. He was doing so well. Still in this race, though. Still in with a shot of some big points for the Williams team. As we'll, again, stay on board with this top three. There is a bit of a battle, though, for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Or 7th, 8th, 9th, I should say. So we'll keep an eye on those guys. But for now, Mr. Hex has got DRS. Is he going to return the favour? Oh, and he's had a spin. And that's hit Roman numerals. And Archie Gill. Yeah. No, Mr. Hex. Mr. Hex, he just got a snap of oversteer. Clipped the back of Roman numerals. And the two of them crashed. And wow, that's thrown this crazy. So Mr. Hex is going to have to pit for a new front wing. Roman numerals is going to have to do likewise.
Yeah.
Ghetto Biggie getting another 3 seconds. Wow. And that has thrown what was looking like a pretty comfortable top four all over the place. Archie Gill now in the front seat. Him and Ghetto Biggie. Well, I mean, even then, Ghetto Biggie really needs to make up 6 seconds in the next 8 laps or so. He's going to really need to put in the time. It looks like Hot Boy goes for a move as Ragford goes a little bit wide. Hot Boy shoots back on the inside coming out of turn 3, I believe that is. But isn't able to get the move done and holds on to 10th for now. Wow, so... I mean, what does that change then, Tamba, for us in terms of the outlook of this race?
Well, Rusty is now within a shot of a podium, as well as Rally, if he can pick up the pace. But I mean, the field is still looking pretty spread out, except for, I mean, P5 to P11 is pretty open at this point, so... Yeah, and Rally with the one stop as well may get a Rusty if he pits again and didn't catch up. So.
It's also worth noting, it looks like Roman numerals in his pit stop did not tell his crew that he wanted a new front wing, and so he didn't get a front wing. Hot Boy might need to do the same message as he just spins it. He's lost his front wing.
How do you tell the race engineer not to
you can change the settings to yes, no, or auto, so you can actively tell them not to change your front wing. I imagine that's what he had. So Roman numerals is having to pit again, which is not good news. Hotboy also needing a new front wing, which means that they are not loving life. What it does also mean is that the grid is now completely spread out, except for this battle here. We've got 5th, 6th, and 7th all within a second of each other. It's the closest fight so far.
And
so yeah, currently on board with Cipriani Vince in the Williams.
Yeah.
We'll see if he's
Mr.
able to
X
get a
as
move.
well with the fresh tires could probably be affectable.
Yes, him and Cipriani on new tyres. Cipriani's only 4 laps old. Green Hornet, a little bit of risk here. 10 laps into his mediums, going to have a bit of wear. Definitely going to be feeling it a little bit. As Mr. Hex has got the better exit, goes on the outside, switches back to the inside, but looks like Cipriani Vince not wanting to give out that position yet, and holds on to it for now and maintains 6th position as they come through to start their 25th lap.
Yeah, Rusty's in the pits.
Rusty's in the pits for some fresh... He is, for some fresh mediums, which should get him to the end of the race.
Yeah, so now we gotta watch the delta between him and Rally.
Yes.
It's about 8 seconds, I think. So 8 seconds in 12 laps should be doable. But,
yeah, it should be doable. Roman numerals has retired in the pits. Such a shame. He was having such a good race. Very unfortunate there. I'm sure the stewards will be having a look at that incident.
Well, and as well, Rusty doesn't have any penalties, as well as Green Hornet, so in terms of a podium, Rusty's looking pretty good. And he's gaining as well.
Gaining big time.
Big time gains. Oh, and Ghetto Piggy is right on the ass. When did this happen?
Yes, also, I'm getting word from our inside men on the grid that the weatherman that in about 5-10 minutes we might start seeing our first drops of rain as Mr. Hex gets an overtake and moves up into 5th, which might massively impact this race.
Yeah.
In terms of pit stops, as it will just completely neutralize the wear of these guys' tires and all of their strategy up to this point, which puts Raleigh in the hot seat.
Yeah, that's probably the thought they may had while they were going to the hards. They were probably in the voice chat together, and they'd be like, "Let's go to the hards and go to the rain." Hopefully, it does rain enough that we have to change to inters, or we get absolutely massacred by the fast runners. Yeah, so
look, Ragford joins the 3-second club.
Yeah, Ghetto Biggie is looking for a move into the hairpin.
Is he going to go for it? We'll jump on board with Ghetto Biggie, see if he gets a better exit. He does get a better exit. Much better closing speed. We'll have DRS, and this should be a comfortable move for the Aston Martin. It is. And Archie Gill tucks in behind, and that is P1.
That's a lot of DRS though.
Jesus.
Oh, rain. Rain. That's rain.
That is a little bit of rain. So, we'll keep the tyres on for these guys. We'll see who and when pits. We should still get, depending on how heavy this rain is, a couple more laps at least on the slicks.
Yeah, probably lap 30 maybe?
Maybe.
Or never.
or never. I'm still getting reports that we're still 5 minutes away from rain, so might be a slow start. You might be right. We might still get several laps before it starts to have an impact on these drivers.
Yeah, Green Hornet is pitting. Why though? Why are you bidding now?
I'm not sure. He's bidding for fresh softs. I don't think he's had a
I
look at
mean,
the weather report.
to be fair, if it doesn't go to Inters, then he got the better tires. So,
Yes.
but he's 50, almost a minute behind the leader. So
We'll keep an eye on
ultimately,
Mr. Hex. He is working his way up through the grid since that accident and recovering fairly well. He's right on the back of Rusty Oilcan, who is himself in 4th position. Mr. Hex will look to set himself up the overtake here, or jump on board with him, see if he gets a better overtake than Rusty. Looks like he's had a slightly better exit. Closing speed is there. If we include the DRS, should be comfortable. It looks like Rusty is using his ERS and is able to hold the position. And is that a pit stop for Chaos Stewards jumping into the pits, interestingly?
Inters. Oh, it's
It is
Inters.
Inters. He's made the bold move. Oh, it's getting spicy, Tambar. It's getting spicy. Let's have a look. We're still on board with Mr. Hex, but we'll keep an eye on that Delta for the Ferrari.
Oh, Jesus! He just he's struggling on the direction.
Oh, I think, to be fair, I think it might be.
Have the ERS on though?
I don't know.
Take it off.
I think it might be
What are
a
you
good
doing?
idea.
I feel like he's gonna crash if he gives on the ERS.
If he's able to hold it, I mean, the rain is starting to get heavier. It might be a good decision as Rusty Oil Can goes down the inside of Raleigh up into 3rd. Raleigh will look to get a better exit. Mr. Hex looks down the inside of the two of them. He goes alongside Raleigh, which means that Rusty is able to have a better exit, but the two of them will have DRS as they close through, but not enough. Will Mr. Hex hold on to the inside? He does. Defends a little bit deeper, which loses him a bit of time, but gives him 4 positions. That is Rusty up into the podiums, Mr. Hex into 4th, and Raleigh down into 5th. As we have a yellow flag. Yes.
I think it's Chaos.
Chaos. I think maybe he pissed a little bit early.
Just a little bit.
Bold decision. But I do think we're only a couple of laps away with the way the rain is falling.
I think he has unmapped.
Ooh.
Oh,
and it's getting heavy now. It's getting heavy.
You gotta go. Wait.
I think now might be the time.
He just got reset. Yeah, Chaos is struggling.
Chaos is struggling.
Dude, turn off your ears.
Is he still?
Yeah, I think he doesn't
he's
know
just-
that it's. Oh, Tac Delta.
Tac Delta's retired. Let's have a look. See if we can see an onboard.
Right. What the?
Oh, he's just driven straight on into that chicane, and that is a safety car. Oh, now let's have a look. So we'll have a look. So the first people to cross through into the pit lane will be Rusty, currently in 3rd. Is he going to pit for Inters? No, he doesn't. Mr. Hex is going to pit.
Or Inters.
Raleigh is pitting as well.
Is it Inter time? Yeah.
Are they pitting for Inters? Yeah, they are. Rusty hasn't. I think that
is pitting for Inters, yeah.
Cipriani,
it's
Vince.
really wet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's have a
Gotta
look.
raise the rounds.
Is Vince gonna pit for Inters? He does. Green Hornet. Yeah, they're all coming in. Rusty hasn't pitted. Green Hornet is Inters, yes. Hot Boy.
Ragford didn't pit either.
No, and Hot Boy is moving on to soft tyres.
What? Why though?
I don't know. Cheeseheads is going on to the Inters. Ghetto Biggie.
Different type of strategies. This wasn't what I meant.
Ghetto Biggie's on the Inters. Archie Gill is on the softs.
Nah.
Wow.
Why though?
I don't know. I mean, according to the weather report, we're going to get 15 minutes of rain.
And,
That-
you can see
and
on
then
the
it's
track
bright
that
sunshine.
wet.
Yes, it is Inters time, surely. Is Rusty going to pit?
Um,
Rusty hasn't pitted again.
well, I
Wow.
mean, that's pretty much his race over. Because I feel like he's got a bit. He's struggling on the slow speed.
Well,
But
I mean,
Chaos just pitted for softs.
one thing to think about though, we are on lap 30 of 35, and if you look at the track map, we are very spread out. We are at least 2, maybe 3 more laps from a restart, which means that we might only have a couple of laps of racing.
Yeah.
So if it
Fair
doesn't
enough.
rain too hard, if it's able to maintain this level at the most, track position might be more important for these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Archie needed to have pitted, definitely. If he's going to pitting for fresh softs, it's a
I think
bold strategy.
If I'm Archie now would have just gone into the pits again and just moved.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, he's losing. He's going to have to. And then Rusty. I mean, he's got the space behind him. I think.
yeah, I think he can go P4.
4. I think he'd go P4. Assuming Rusty pits as well, though, he'll go P3, I imagine. I don't know if
Archie goes into the pits.
Archie goes into the pits. Is Rusty going to go into the pits? He is.
Yeah.
So, the question is now, Mr. Hex, can he close in time?
Oh boy, man.
And, oh, he gets a 3-second penalty under safety car. Love to see that. Is Riley going to close them as he comes through the home straight? Rusty and Archie out of their pit boxes respectively, so this will be vital to see who holds position. Riley is able to get ahead of Rusty. Will he hold it? No. So Archie keeps 3rd, Rusty keeps 4th. And yeah, we're still a couple of laps away.
Yeah, and people are still pitting, so.
Hot Boy, is he going to jump into the pits? You think he's surely going to? Yes, Hot Boy's jumping in. Cheeseheads already has pitted, so he will say thank you very much, and we'll move up into 8th. We've just got 3 more well, 2 more, assuming Hot Boy. Yeah, Hot Boy jumps into the inters now. Ragford, come on, mate, into the pits.
Into the pits.
Interestingly, I am now getting in the weather report that we're 10 minutes away from sunshine.
Well, unpredictable weather.
Very unpredictable weather. Ragford, are you going to be jumping onto some inters, my friend? Yes, you are. Which means we've just got Chaos Druid on the softs. Come on, Chaos. You went too early on the inters. You then pitted back onto softs. Are you going to go? Yeah. Do 3 wrongs make a right. Will you pit onto the inters, or are you going to stick it on the softs? I think there's a bold... No, he's gone inters. I mean, if there's any drivers who can hear me, you might not be into the whole race. We'll see. We'll see.
He's going on new softs.
Is he going on these softs? Oh no, Chaos Druid.
Just changing front wing.
Oh no, Chaos Druid. Oh, such a shame. So, God. So, all that said and done, we are 11 out of 12 drivers on the inters under this safety car.
I mean, we still need to get people to catch up. I mean, Ragford is 1 lap behind everyone else.
Ooh. Also, we're getting word of mouth. A Ghetto Biggie is a drive-through penalty.
What?
I've just checked over. We just got a little bit. Thank you, Roman numerals, for the shout-out. Safety car is in this lap. Ghetto Biggie has a drive-through.
How though?
I don't know.
I want to know.
Which means he will need to serve that before the end of the race. I didn't see anything. I don't know if you did. As Raleigh has spun. Riley has spun, so he's fallen back. Safety car is in this lap, so we have got a chaotic end. Tamba, I can't remember the last race we commentated that didn't have a chaotic end to it.
Yeah, and last race was also a wet race.
Yeah, every race. So Ghetto Biggie, let's see when he goes. He goes now. Mr. Hex gets a good end. And Archie gets a good end as well. We'll stay on board with Archie. He's now side by side with Mr. Hex on the green flag. They go too wide coming into turn 1. These drivers probably not used to the inter-traction as Archie Gill tries to hold the inside. Mr. Hex is able to hold the position for now, and they keep it 1, 2, and 3. Rusty is in P4. Cipriani Vince, not a good restart, and already a 3-second gap between 4th and 5th as Hot Boy gets a 5-second for speeding in the pit lane. I don't know why he's jumped into the pits, but he has. Wow, so as it stands, Tamba, we've got Ghetto Biggie for a drive-through. Mr. Hex has 12 seconds. Archie Gill has 6 seconds. Rusty has no penalties. As it stands, Rusty is currently winning the race. Your pre-race prediction.
Coming to life.
Coming to life. So as it stands, therefore, so Ghetto is going to be down towards the back. We've got what? So Rusty is first. Then who have we got? Archie Gill second. Cipriani Vince third, I want to say.
Yeah.
Cipriani Vince gets overtaken for now. Is he going to fight back? No.
Green Hornet is third, I think. And then.
Yes, Green Hornet is third. Wow. Green Hornet, if you can hear me, if you've got the live stream on in the background, I know you're 8th right now, but you are on for a 3rd place, my friend. As you've got a green flag in the 2nd sector as Chaos Druid on those softs, not having a good time. But Ghetto Biggie, he's gonna have to go this lap, surely.
Yeah, what happens if you don't serve the race?
I think you get disqualified. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, he's won the race and won the championship, so
yeah, he won't mind.
Anything
Anything can happen. So, yeah. I don't think he'll know that he's winning this race because he won't be able to see Ghetto Biggie's penalties, assuming he hasn't already seen the notification. He might already know, to be fair to him.
Yeah, but I mean, he will know when Ghetto Biggie goes into the pits. If he does.
Yes, Archgill and P2 as Raleigh.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh, well. Ghetto Biggie is going for this qualification.
He is. I think he's just decided I'm going to win it on track. I don't care. Yeah. Which, to be honest, I respect. Also, massive shout out, Chaos Druid. 34 seconds of penalties. That is, at least by my books, a brand new record. I have never seen anyone over 30 seconds with no disqualification. So, huge shout out to Chaos Druid. That is great.
He is a fighter as well because he's 3 laps down and still running.
Yes. Go on, Chaos Druid. You've already won my driver of the day.
Yep. And he got another penalty.
He's still not been disqualified. 37 seconds. That is crazy stuff. So,
who will get disqualified first? Chaos or Ghetto?
I think by this stretch it's going to be Ghetto. So, Chaos Druid will technically be finishing 11th, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. So,
finish.
Ready, right? Everyone, get your calculators out as we're coming to the end of the race to see who's going to finish where, because it's anyone's guess. Ghetto Biggie, we know. He's going to be disqualified. He jumps into the pits now, which means Mr. Hex will come across the line on track to win Tier 2 Round 21 here in Canada. But let's have a look, see what happens. Archie Gill comes through 2nd, jumps up to 1st. Rusty Oil Can comes through 4th, jumps up to 1st. It's his. Cheesehead's 5th, jumps up to 4th. Ghetto Big Rally goes up to 5th. Green Hornet goes up to 4th. Oh, it's all over the place. Cipriani Vince is up to 6th. Hot Boy is going to sit where he is. Ghetto Biggie, therefore, is 8th. So he served it in the final lap, clearly.
No, he got a 20-second penalty for not serving. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure how that works. But all that said and done, we've got a Rusty Oil Can, Archie Gill, Mr. Hex podium. Huge congratulations to Rusty Oil Can, keeping it clean throughout the whole race. Not a single penalty. Fantastic drive from the Alfa Romeo. Thoroughly deserved.
That's the question.
Did he what, sorry?
Did he get a warning? What?
Did he get a warning? He got 2 warnings.
He got 3 warnings.
He got 3 warnings?
What? Nah, it's probably warning is probably because hitting someone on the road or something.
Okay, different warnings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Either way, great job.
Either way, great job from the man, and great job to yourself, Tamba. You laid out a prediction, and you were bang on.
Yep. Thank you. You can send the money now, you know. Just pop it.
So, we'll have a quick rundown once we get through on the podium. Once again, congrats to the 3 of them. Fantastic podium. And whilst I have a look at the incident reports for the stewards, Tamba, if you want to run us through our final grid order.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just skip the podium celebration. We gotta wait a bit. Yeah, we gotta wait. I can't.
Okay, so I've got you. We've got 20 seconds to do it. So P1 Rusty, P2 Archie, P3 Mr. Hex, P4 Green Hornet, P5 Cheeseheads, P6 Cipriani, P7 Rally, P8 Ghetto, P9 Hotboy, P10 Raggerford, P11 Tar Heels, P12 Chaos Drib, P13 Tac Delta, P14 Roman numerals to P15 Tar 4. 5 seconds to spare.
I think everyone just had a stroke.
Well, it's been a pleasure. My name has been Cheryl Shaft. We'll sign off there. With me has been Tamba. Any final words, Tamba?
Norway is the best country in the world.
Norway is the best country in the world. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next week for the final race of this season in Brazil. Good night.